right? So we'll start from here. Hi, you're with Super Chuffer. It's midnight. It's always midnight. This is your right ear and your left ear. This is Battery Exhausted. We're going to talk about Alan. Do. No bullying or hate on this channel. We're a study group, 100,000 million strong. Sign up to the Patreon now. 100 million strong. Welcome to the Armchair Detective. Welcome. AD. He put his willy in my mouth. AD. All right.
Hello. Armchair Detective. Good evening.
Not in such high spirits without your tramadol.
Always a time lag. So let me know when you can see me.
Why?
And when you can see me,
Are you on the tramadol now?
I'll start talking to you.
You're live. Listen, Lurchy, you're live from the moment you press fucking go. They see you when it kicks in from that moment. That's why there's this bit at the start where you don't know what's going on, and we always see it. From the minute it's time to get this straight, Alan. Microphone needs to come in front of you. We all know it, you won't do it. Or you could turn around and face the microphone, that might even be better. But what we're going to need to see from you now, Alan, is some level of understanding of this process at this juncture. It's time for the understanding to come in. I'll let you in on the secret. You press the button, go live, you are then live. So immediately then you start going, hi, I'm Alan, I'm the Armchair Detective. And in about a minute, as the delay comes round, it will just all kick in. They'll start being in chat. They'll start talking. If I say to them now, like time the delay, give me a hello in chat now above my head. Say delay. Show me the delay in chat now, please. Can you show me the delay in chat, all of you in chat? Give me the, then I'm going to have to wait for the delay. I don't know, forget it. It'll start happening above my head. There you go. Now it's happened. I don't have to, doesn't matter. Because I don't have to worry, because chat will just be slightly delayed, won't it? So I'll just talk like they're there, and they will be there, and they are. What you need to do, Alan, is press go. And from that moment, just say, hi, I'm Alan. I'm the Armchair Detective. Welcome to the show. Talk about yourself for a good 20 minutes. That's the bit we like. Don't bother with all the rest of the bollocks. Nobody cares. There's another top tip. Start doing Alan's Mad Hour, if you could. We're looking forward to Alan's Community Comedy Hour. That's something we're looking forward to. Alan's Mad Hour, if you could. Because we're only going to get to watch the start of this, because the rest of it, where you put on the fucking news, it's not even the news this week, it's a documentary off the BBC, where you play a full documentary off the BBC on Rumble. Completely copyright nightmare that is, but Alan doesn't seem to care, because he just doesn't care.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who's the first one to see me? Dun, dun, dun.
Doody. Don't do the doodies. You're right in your vest. The Dark Side Phil crowd are
Say
going to
hello
enjoy
if
this.
you can see me.
He's decided to wear a vest. Sport vest. It's a vest.
Okay, good evening.
On the outside of his
Armchair
t-shirt.
Detective. Live. What's YouTube like without me?
Much better. What was that creepy laugh? Armchair Detective live.
Okay, good evening.
Okay.
Armchair Detective. Live. What's YouTube like without me?
Much better.
Boring, right?
No.
Little did they know, get rid of AD, things will improve. Did it? No.
Well, not for you, Mr. Tits. Not for you.
What I want to talk about tonight is one of the biggest cover-ups of all crime, in fact.
Clever.
Rothwell.
Rothwell, Jason Dean.
When I was growing up, Rothwell was considered a conspiracy theory.
No, it wasn't. You mean Roswell. Roswell? Rothwell? Well, hang on, wait. Now I can't get it in my brain. What's in the desert? Which one's in America? In the desert? Roswell, isn't it? Roswell. Isn't it? The desert. Roswell. Am I tripping now? It's not called Rothwell, is it?
JFK.
Roswell.
Was it?
There's a delay, you see. There's a delay. So,
conspiracy theory lie.
JFK was a conspiracy theory lie.
And they were like, never proven, right?
This is 2023, Alan. It's Rumble 2023. Is this where you're going to... So, don't know if you know, but I'm pretty old school with the old Rothwell JFK conspiracies. So you probably want to listen to me and what I think about things on this Rumble platform. What's going on with my hair? Why is it all sticking out? Hang on. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you.
I like to think of ones that are proven. Conspiracy theories are put down, isn't it? The word conspiracy theory means like, it's a theory, but it's conspiracy.
So the word conspiracy, I know I stop him all the time. I'll let him run after I've done this one, and then I'll come back and... But a conspiracy theory means it's just a theory, but it's a conspiracy. You're not allowed the meaning in the definition. Can't be the name. Like, you have to define it by other terms, because that means you don't know what it means. Is that right, Alan? What a conspiracy theory means is a theory, but it's a conspiracy. Thank you for explaining it, you fucking nutter.
Proven, right?
I'm a bit loud. He's a bit quiet.
Are proven.
He's got the microphone behind him.
Conspiracy theories are put down, isn't it? The word conspiracy theory means like, it's a theory, but it's conspiracy. It's not true. What about the conspiracy theory that the Roman Catholic Church especially were abusing children?
Oh my God.
And moving chaplains from district...
That wasn't a conspiracy theory. That was organised sex crime.
The district, they got caught. That was a conspiracy theory lie. Wasn't it?
No.
When the lady that sung Nothing Compares to You,
Sinead O'Connor,
said it on live TV in America, she was booed off the stage, right?
Yeah, because they're running a live TV show about music, and she's on there fucking slating the Pope and saying he's responsible for sex crime. And they're just like, the advertisers are not going to like this. The evangelical Christian advertising. Get her off. She's doing fucking dangerous political comment on our light entertainment show. Get her off. You know, it doesn't matter if it wasn't a conspiracy theory. She's exposing the Illuminati. Get her off. It was just like she was saying a political thing. She was on Saturday Night Live when she said it, wasn't she? Yeah, didn't she tear up a picture of the Pope on one of them? Like, fair enough. And it was at the end anyway. She didn't have a lot of time to continue broadcasting. And they didn't want her on many shows anymore to do songs if she's going to do that. But other people wanted her on shows to talk politically if she wanted to do that. Good for her having a voice and getting it out there, using her platform to make a statement and ruining her career in the process in many ways. But it was it was one of them things. It wasn't that nobody knew there was any sex abuse in the church and everyone was trying to conspiracy it. It wasn't like a conspiracy that turned out to be true. It was it's a different thing, isn't it, the sex crime in the church? I'm just surprised that he's gone with this.
Trouble is, she was telling the truth.
I used to say, I saw it when I was a kid, I saw it on somewhere, I like the Pope smokes dope. I think I saw it on a t-shirt somewhere on holiday, in a shop. And I said it out loud because I read it. I like the Pope smokes dope. My mum said, don't say that. I didn't really know what it meant, you know. And then after that, every time the Pope came up, I said, I like the Pope. The Pope smokes dope. And it used to get a laugh from the adults, but I didn't really know, like, because I was only a kid.
And it's now been proven that the Roman Catholic Church covered up child abuse for as long as they've been around.
As long as you what?
They finally had to apologise and admit it. So there's a conspiracy theory that it's only true, but anybody that said it were in big trouble.
No, it wasn't that it was...
They were right.
No, the world didn't think, well, that's just a conspiracy. Like, they were covering up sex crimes, and when it came out, the world was appalled.
So you can't trust the church.
You can't trust the church. Oh, I mean, you must specifically mean the Catholic Church, because you know a couple of your ardent supporters are politically religious. Like, politically religious. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, you can't trust the church. That's written off then. I'm glad we sorted that out. We're not going to wheedle out the sex criminals and, you know, try and cleanse the church. We're just going to say you can't trust the church. Best not go to the church. That vicar hasn't got your best interests at heart. There were sex crimers. It's all done. Write it off. Church in bin. Now, there's a lot of people out there that get a lot of solace, community. Like, the church does a lot of good things in the world, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the Jesus thing, or I'm assuming we're talking about the Jesus Church, in general, the Catholic Church as well. Like, there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of organisation, there's a lot of behind the scenes and the conspiracy about it. You know, the conspiracy goes as far as, like, the Pope's a fucking lizard and all that shit, doesn't it, David Icke? But the truth of the good that they do in the world as well, like, you know, you can't just be like don't trust anyone that's the church then, can't trust them, done. I kind of, like, it's funny because I don't go to the church and sort of trust them implicitly because they are the Catholic Church, everyone connected is great. No, nor do I do that. But we're living in 2023, so what's he even bothering saying that for? I mean,
you thought you could, didn't you, years ago?
You thought you could?
The church. What about politicians?
What about politicians? Well, no, obviously you can't trust politicians. But Alan, you've just spent the last few weeks doing politically motivated bollocks presented to you by people that you shouldn't and couldn't trust. The politicians that have got you in the position, the ones, don't get me started on it. Of course you can't trust politicians. Welcome to Great Britain in 2023, where we've had 10 years of politicians that can't be trusted, who have been trusted by idiots, and that's how they've got the fucking meal ticket.
Weapons of mass destruction, said Tony Blair.
Oh, weapons of mass destruction, yeah.
We're going to have to...
I'm a thermonuclear mic device, weapon of mass destruction. Yeah, we had that. Yeah, it was all fake. No weapons of mass destruction, yeah.
Go in and destroy Saddam Hussein because he has weapons that can kill us all. I said, no, they haven't.
You said, no, they haven't. You said, no, they haven't. You went against Hans Blick, UN weapons inspector. Did you? Or were you going on, they want to kill us and all the Arabs, and I don't know what you said because we didn't know, but now you're just going to claim you knew better. The problem we all had, Alan, was that the people who didn't support the war, when presented with the evidence of weapons of mass destruction, some of them were forced to concede that it was probably better to eradicate that threat. And then later, when they found out that Hans Blick, UN's weapon inspector, was lying, then there was problems. But at the time, it's much like that fucking recent stuff that you've had with the the lockdowns and stuff, which you don't, again, politically don't want to get into. People make decisions on the information they're given at the time, and it's no good for you to just say, no, I knew better. Like, you can't honestly claim you thought, yeah, I know what Saddam's armaments, I knew. Obviously, it turned out I was right. You can make a lucky guess, but you had no concept of what Saddam Hussein was doing. Not many of us really knew the inner workings of Saddam Hussein's life. That's why we wanted it fucking inspected by the UN.
And there was a conspiracy theory to say there was no weapons of mass destruction.
No, the conspiracy theories are like there was other, like, the oil, it's not really a conspiracy theory, the oil motivations, but the conspiracy theory would be like the Americans paid to do X, Y, Z, and, like, you know, you look at I mean, Gaza is a better example in the modern world now, isn't it? Because the conspiracy theories would say, well, Iran is funding Hamas, but America's funding this, and like who's doing what behind the scenes? Did we pay Al Qaeda? Well, we did pay Al Qaeda, but like who sent them to blow up the towers? And like there's conspiracy theories surrounding it. The conspiracy theory wasn't there are no weapons of mass destruction. That was the overt political state, not political, like the UN, the conspiracy was that they said that they, I mean, I'm just getting too confused and it's starting to annoy me in a way. Like he's not nailing on the head what the conspiracy was at the time, like, and what turned out to be true. Like, I think what he's trying to say is, if at the time you had said that there are no weapons of mass destruction, they're just using it as an excuse to go and have a war, then you would have been labelled a conspiracy theorist. That's potentially what he's trying to say. But at the time, people were saying it's not about weapons of mass destruction, it's about oil, and they were labelled conspiracy theorists. Like, I understand that concept, yeah. Like, playing to the Rumble crowd, well done. And things have shifted and changed. Like, this is fucked in the head and annoying as well, because when I was young, like, you know, when the planes were hitting the Twin Towers, I was saying, like, we want to find out what's behind this, because it's not going to be exactly as they're telling us on the news. Like, I know that, you know, X, Y, Z has happened, but what's really happening behind the scenes, you know, like conspiracy theory, you know, and I like, you know, Illuminati and all that, and the Zeitgeist movement, you know, all that happened. But I don't think Adam really understands the lay of the land and what's going on. You know, he doesn't watch a lot of Adam Curtis. He's just a fool, because he was going on about immigrants on boats the other week, which is 100% politically pumped into his ears by those fucking same paymasters that he's trying to expose with his knowledge of conspiracy.
That's what the politician said. And we as a world believed them and sent our boys over there to be killed.
And girls.
Set up all this trouble we got now is due to us going to the Middle East, right? Everything you're seeing on the streets now is all due to that, Blair.
It's all due to Blair. It's not. My God. He thinks Tony Blair came along and started trouble in the Middle East. Obviously, Tony Blair did come along and there was trouble in the Middle East and he was a big part of it at that moment. But, you know, there was a little bit of trouble going on in the Middle East a little bit before that, don't you think, Alan? It goes a bit further than that. And like, he thinks he knows, and he knows nothing, does he?
They lied to you. There was no weapons of mass destruction. It was an excuse to do the war.
Yeah.
So you can't trust the church. You can't trust the politician.
But why, Alan, if you can't trust the politicians, like, if you can't trust the politicians, what's all this about on your fucking, on your thing? Like, what is all that politics about? Who are you getting these ideas off, and who are you listening to? You realise it's politicians that are motivating that, don't you? Like, the stupid thing for Alan here is he doesn't understand, like, the chain of command in the politics. He doesn't understand the, like, what feeds in. Like, let's say, for example, we go on a channel, like a platform like 4chan, and like there's an anonymous poster board of political ideas, and there's like some really fucking weird ideas in there, like 4chan, and someone finds out something like QAnon, and there's information, like, that's where that came from, is anonymous poster boards, all that QAnon stuff on the internet. Like, but you're to assume that that's a real person that's typing, and it's not just some, like, if you go on Twitter and you see some politically motivated post about a tranny or transvestite or transgender, whatever, like, you know, their language, not mine, you know, the people who are saying the bad things on the Twitter, they're like, oh, these bad trannies, you know, sort of thing. Yeah, like, do you think that's because someone sat at home and they're really angry about transvestite people, transgender people, or do you think it's because someone in a right-wing office somewhere is being paid to pump out bollocks to manipulate the ideas? Like, he just doesn't understand the chain of command at all. And if you think Boris Johnson, Conservative Party, Trump, evangelical Christians, et al, all together, you know, the right-leaning, right-wing, the media, you know, all that, don't get together and just pump shit. They don't control social media, but they can pump a load of slurry of shit into it, can't they? And they're going to do it under the guise of just, like, you know, anonymous or fake or looks like this, but it's actually that. And, like, you don't know what to believe anymore, Alan, and you certainly don't. And you're completely, like, so deep in it that you're regurgitating it back as like you're now a content creator, not paid to work in an office by the right wing, but regurgitating their bollocks back to them as part of the echo chamber. So you're the worst kind, because your motivation is not like, you think it's your own personal financial motivation, but you're not actually directly personally remunerated by those people. You're just whipped up into a frenzy by those people. Like, you're basically arguing against your own content here.
As you know, from Watergate, or the Vietnam lies, Watergate, Nixon.
Watergate.
Can't trust the politician.
I don't know what happened in Watergate. It's not because I'm ignorant politically, it's because it's 2023.
Well, never mind, you can trust the BBC News and the news.
Not the news and the BBC News, they're separate entities, because the mainstream media that are paid and politically motivated, they're different from the BBC, aren't they, Alan? But you don't understand that distinction. But here we're going to now critique the news. No. Alan, all of your content, you show the news all the time. That's your eye on the world. From your little sitting in this little seat there, on your phone and on the internet, looking at it through the news. Sky News, the Murdoch Empire, the Telegraph, the Times, the BBC, all of it. Constantly, your content is the 10-minute prelude to the news. Everything you do is based on the news.
Can you? Well, the news tell us what they're told to tell us by the politicians. And I've already proved you can't trust the politicians.
You didn't just... Wait.
New York, that we're...
You didn't just prove you can't trust the politicians. How did you prove it? Because Tony Blair said about the weapons of mass destruction after Hans Blix.
AD is not on YouTube. Politicians. And I've already proved...
Because Tony Blair lied about weapons of mass destruction based on the reports given to him by the UN, Hans Blix weapons inspector. Because of this process that kicked off the Iraq war, now all politicians are untrustworthy. I mean, I get it. Politicians have different interests, and you should have to read between the lines and understand the politics before you can make decisions based on what they're telling you. But like, you can't trust all the politicians. He proved it just then, and that means the politicians are telling the media what to do. He doesn't understand it's the other way around, that the people that own the media are telling the politicians what to do and the media what to say. Like, the media is part and parcel of the political... Like, I was just saying the political people pay to have their voice put into that media space. Yeah, absolutely. So they're like part of the same thing. Like, the media people are political. Like, the owners and controllers of, like, the empires of, like, Murdoch and stuff have political gains and, like, aims, and they're intertwined, I suppose you would say, aren't they? And in America, it is also intertwined with one of the biggest money donators politically is the evangelical church, isn't it? And then there's all the companies and the lobbying. Like, Hannah just doesn't seem to have any understanding of why this is the most stupid thing he could possibly be saying, because he's about to show you an hour's worth of BBC documentary. The rest of his show and all of his content that he's ever fucking done is based on footage presented to him in the mainstream media by the people he's telling you cannot trust. Other than Richard D. Hall and what he found on YouTube, and, like, I suppose the disclosure from the Chris Watts case. Other than that, Alan has based every single thing he said, and lots of the time, any ideas he's had, on stuff he's seen on the telly and read in the Daily Mail. Like, it's just, how can you possibly say this and think anyone can take you seriously?
You can't trust the politicians. So if the politicians are telling the news channels what to say, and we don't trust the politicians, the news channels are worse, because they're not only telling us what we're told to tell us, but they are vested interest billionaires who control them and tell them to tell us what they want to tell us, i.e. COVID. The big COVID experiment. Can't trust mainstream media, can't trust the doctors who fed us all these opiates. Can't trust the doctors, you can't trust mainstream media, can't trust the politicians.
It sounds like someone's having a mental breakdown based on their inability to trust, doesn't it? It sounds like someone's having a proper mental breakdown. I'm going to open up my own Twitter this is because I tweeted it out. Hang on. Let's have a look at... Here it is. Did I actually... did I make a note of the... I'm sure I did somewhere, my brain. I'm sure I made a note of the... Maybe I did it on my phone. Of the website, because I wanted to look at the website. Duh. I should be prepared for this. Apologies. You can read what this says in the same time. Narcissists are committed to a false self. They're not trustworthy. How on earth did I do that and not post the fucking link? Actually, I can find it by typing that in, can't I? Narcissists are committed to the false self by definition. They do not live in a trustworthy fashion. Google. Narcissists, I can't even spell it, are committed to the false self. Hang on. Where was it? By definition, they do not live in a trustworthy fashion. By definition, they do not live in a trustworthy fashion. This must be it, mustn't it? Yeah, because narcissists are committed to the false self, by definition they do not live in a trustworthy fashion. They may attempt to project the illusion that they can trust and be trusted, but that's simply not possible. Truth, trust and falsehoods do not match. Narcissists have a very shaky, weak interior in the sense that integrity is fluid, insecurity is pervasive and loyalty determined only by the other person's utility in the moment. Their need for control is so strong and their lack of regard for others' needs and feelings is so common they sabotage the potential for trust before it's even had a chance to develop. Over time, narcissists prove to be unsafe in the sense they will not show regard for you when needed most. Because of the narcissist's inability to engage trustworthily, there are repercussions for you to consider. You can feel disillusioned, coming to terms with the heartache of being rah. Was that it? Was that what I was looking for? Think so. Anyway, well, that is off survivingnarcissism.tv. I can't even spell that either. Survivingnarcissism.tv. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because it literally directly outlines what's going on here with Alan, is that he's trying to tell everyone that... I mean, I think he's in some sort of paranoid, delusional state where he can't trust anyone anyway because he's coming off narcotics or still taking them. Like, he seems to be in a bit of a mess. But like, he's got the tramadol delusions, hasn't he? He's got the coke brain, but I think what's also likely is it's part of this narcissism. So it's literally described there. They attempt to project the illusion they can trust and be trusted. Also, I think it's part of gaslighting, like narcissistic gaslighting, which is that by telling you that you can't trust the media, how can you watch the telly? By telling you that you can't trust the church, how can you go and give them your tippies, you know, and trust Jesus? Instead, who can you trust? Well, it must be this man, the man that's telling you you can't trust anyone else. You can only trust him. Now you're isolated from everyone else that you can trust. You can only trust Alan. And Alan's going to feed you stuff from the mainstream media that he's told you can't trust, which is fucking weird. I want to read a couple of these as well, which, like, I'll read through these and see, you know, how they fit in. Your humanity's none of their concern. In the long run, the only person a narcissist cares about is their self, which explains why they have a history of hurting and disappointing others. Tick, Alan. Being self-impressed, they do not see themselves as problematic, which means by default, you're the trouble one when difficulties arise. Tick, Alan. When you have disappointing experiences with the narcissist, that person becomes the victim, and you're the one who caused them to treat you poorly. Tick, Alan. To narcissists, being vulnerable is terrifying, which predisposes them to lightning-quick defences. With a thick shield in place, they take the offensive as they require you to justify your emotions and reactions. Tick, Alan. Thanks for the tippies link. Tick, Alan. Narcissists operate with toxic idealism, meaning their standards are for inner satisfaction and are so impossible you cannot possibly satisfy them. Tick Allen. Narcissists do not always say what they mean or what they say. Gaslighting you, they prefer to keep you guessing about ways that you interpret their words and actions. In other words, they're schemers. Tick Allen. They filter relationships through the lens of guilt, shame and judgment, and since they want to bear none of that, they place it onto you. Tick Allen. In the end, as you struggle to coordinate with their self-serving agenda, you will experience anger and contempt. Tick Allen. So basically, Alan's not a trustworthy person and he can't understand trust and deal with it properly, and he's having some sort of narcissistic delusional breakdown, and he's going to put that onto his audience by explaining that they can't trust any of the institutions that they would regard as being trustworthy, I suppose. Next it'll be you can't trust your family.
You can't trust the church. Doesn't lead much, does it? And people like me that try to put the truth out there
Oh, you're good.
are forever put down and try to be destroyed, right?
Yeah, Alan has angered the international elites in his pursuit of truth and justice, and so they need to shut him down. Yeah, so you won't be seeing any mainstream media on Alan's channel from here on out. Here's my little challenge to you, Alan. I know you're watching. No more mainstream media now, then. No more Sky News. No more The Telegraph. No more anything that can go back to Rupert Murdoch. No more BBC News, because you've directly slated them, even though I think they're probably one of the best. You can fucking bin them off. They can go in the bin. It doesn't mean I give them a free pass to always everything the BBC said was great. I mean, I think they're more accountable than the others because they don't have that same corporate overlord. Like, you can throw them in the bin though. Like, you are not allowed to use these things anymore on your content. Please start making content and let's see how it works without all that. And if I were you, I'd go back and delete any episodes that include the mainstream news, because you've just told us they can't be trusted.
You wonder why AD is not on YouTube. Too close to the truth.
No, they deleted you for being a menace. Repeated violations of the terms of service to keep everyone else safe. It wasn't that you got too close to the truth.
Too close to the truth in the Chris Watts case. Too close to the truth in the Madeleine McCann case. Too close to the truth in many cases. Dominic Ramsey case. Nicola Bulley case.
Well, this is stupid because, like, I've done episodes on all of those things as well. Like we did on Thus, we talked about John Bennett Ramsey. Like Steve literally said, I think that he just got bashed in the head with that torch. Like, it's not that we're getting too close to the truth and that Alan's the special one that got too close to the truth. It's that he did bad things against terms of service and now he's making up some weird lies. Like, he's been like David Icke'd off. And even David Icke's still able on YouTube. Like, even Russell Brand can still go on YouTube. You're not on YouTube because you're contravening terms of service left, right and centre, and I think it was by basically being rude, you know, to people, but it could be worse, couldn't it, Alan?
Carly Rodney case.
When I say being rude, I mean, you know, saying sexist, racist and disability slurs.
Carly Gousset case.
Meow.
Too close to the truth.
Too close to the truth, eh?
The fact is, you can trust me more than you can trust everything I've just told you.
You can trust Alan.
I don't have anybody with a...
You can trust Alan more than you can trust everything he's just told you. What are you on about? You're the one telling it. If you can't trust what you're telling us, then you can't trust you. What you mean is more than the things and the institutions I've just described, but you just can't use words properly because you're an arse.
Too close to the truth. The fact is, you can trust me more than you can trust everything I've just told you. Because I don't have anybody with a... I'm not a puppet with a hand up my back.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier. Swish, and then
Big ups for the tippies, thank you.
Koda Cocoa aka Connie sent tippies.
Thank you.
Thanks for welcoming an ex-Alan mod, he is quite literally a buffoon. Big ups. Super Chuffer owes 10 hugs.
Thank you very much. Like, in the future, we would like to, you know, maybe have some chats, like, about stuff if any people want to come on streams. But yeah, like, you're very welcome just to come and chill out. And like I always say it, don't I? Like, the people that were supportive of Alan are not like my. It's not really like my beef. I don't like, maybe a few of them at the end now that that are there at the bitter end that are quite bad. But in general, yeah, if anyone wants to just like, you know, defect and come over here and have a nice time, like that's fine. It's all good in the hood. We're very welcoming. Yeah.
I'm not being.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for the tippies. Thank you. I just wanted to rewind this bit where he did the hand thing, because I think he knows that people take the piss out of his hands. So this weird glove puppet analogy involves him sticking his hand up the bum of something, and he uses his hand. So he kind of notices that he's doing it midway through doing it and thinks, I shouldn't be doing this.
The fact is, you can trust me more than you can trust everything I've just told you. Because I don't have anybody with a... I'm not a puppet with a hand up my back, am I? I'm not being told what to say. I actually think, and I investigate, and I tell you what I think by investigating, and that's it.
But how do you get any of your information to think about and investigate with? It's all off the mainstream media, you fucking clown. Big ups, Timmy. Bro thinks. He actually thinks. He's worth the time and money, Alan is, because he thinks. And you can trust him because he thinks. He must be very thoughtful because he comes up with a lot of content. And this is the man who's about to play an hour-long documentary that was on the BBC. The BBC's recently done an hour-long documentary. Let's just fucking watch it. Like, we're not going to be watching that element of his broadcast, but how can he say what he's saying and then do what he does? Like, that's the thing that baffles me. It's gaslighting, isn't it? It's gaslighting 101. I'm going to tell you that I'm really good and important and you can't trust anyone, and now I'm going to do something that you're going to... Hang on, Alan. You told me I couldn't trust the mainstream. Shut up, you. I'm the one you can trust, but you're showing me the mainstream. Don't think about it. Just repeat back as I say. I'm the one you can trust. It's just fucking ridiculous.
And the sadness is, very few people are awake. When I say...
That's funny, isn't it? Because the people that were awake and that started to wake up, you might call them woke. You could do, couldn't you? Because they're awake. And then what might happen is the right wing might want to recontextualise that exact concept and just make it into something really bad and make it seem like those people are the bad people. And again, divide and conquer. So now you can't be woke because you're a fucking idiot, stupid lesbian with a shaved head who wants to be a man, and everyone should be called by the wrong name and we should have 1,000 genders and they're going to teach kids to suck cocks. Like, it's just like pathetic political speech. Pathetic.
The West is being taken over by the Middle East.
Oh my God. You think that you're awake to modern political machinations and yet you're parrot fashioning this right-wing lie.
Don't be a racist. You don't think the West is being taken over by the Middle East. Have you seen all the protests on the campuses in America? Have you seen them outside Sydney Opera House? Have you seen them in London?
Of you, because if you have, you've either been to Sydney and America or you're watching it on the news. Like, how have you seen these things? You can't trust anyone to show you the truth.
Have you seen them in Toronto? Have you seen them all over the Western world? Okay, so they're in the Middle East and they're refugees. And where do they go?
This episode's called McCann's Knew Maddie Was Dead, AD Shows You Why.
Go to white Christian countries where they don't like our culture, they don't like our beliefs, and they don't like anything about us. Why do they come to the white Christian countries? Because we are soft. And we will give them housing, we'll give them food, we'll give them money.
Go on your daughter.
And then they march on the streets, disrupting everything and destroying our values and cultures. And that's not racist. I've seen it. I've seen the destruction. What I'm saying is, it's not a conspiracy theory when I tell you we are being taken over. London's been taken over nearly completely. And it will spread out from London. It will spread out. And you're wistful thinking in New York that we're okay. No, you're not. We're being taken over by people who hate us. They won't ever fight for England if there's a war. If it's World War III, do you think these people on the streets are going to fight for England or USA? We're stuffed. Anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you, that you can't trust the newspapers.
That's what you wanted to tell us. You can't trust the newspapers. Have you got your dinner down, you? Is this just a feature of the tea? Of the, like, is this a feature of your clothes? Or is it... Are we looking at pixels now? It's like the Chris Watts video. It just looks like there's some staining or something on the front of this. Just down here. Can you see my cursor? Can you see my cursor? Just there, look. Like some sort of white staining down his front. I could be wrong, couldn't I? It's just pixels. I mean, it could be Nicole Kessinger. That could be Nicole Kessinger. Should I just rewind it a little bit and then fast forward it and we'll see if it's Nicole Kessinger? Shall we, could blow the case wide open.
Our countries have been sowed down the river by politicians who don't really act for the people. They act for... what it is they act for? Illuminati? Money? What is it they act for? They don't act for us. They don't speak for me.
They don't? Well, who did you vote for? I'd really love to know. In the last general election, who did you vote for and why? I'd love to know.
I don't want any more immigrants coming in boats. And I don't even know if they belong to Hamas or a terror organisation. They don't come with a passport. I don't know who they are. How can we allow that? How can you allow it, America? Anyway, the cover-ups go on, and tonight I want to talk about Madeleine McCann. Now, I've studied this case for a long time.
Studied.
And I put something in Patreon tonight. I did an Ed Hofferman report about Madeleine McCann a few years back. Coast to Coast radio show in America. And I just put it for prosperity because I'm not on YouTube anymore. I managed to save it and put it on my Patreon channel. Now,
Is that, do you remember the other day we listened to a radio show on our thing? If it's the same radio show and we've managed to dig that out and he's found it, that would be funny, wouldn't it? For posterity, because we were laughing at it because he said he was drunk a lot that weekend because he'd been to his... did we even finish listening to the whole thing?
you want to hear the full story?
We didn't put it up as a YouTube episode, did we? Is that the one? We watched it and it was just a bit rubbish. I went out walking the dog at one point, didn't I? I could have put it up as members content, maybe. I'll have to find it in the stream and put it up as members content. But it might be deleted like Twitch if you don't save your stuff. Like, you know, it gets deleted after 2 weeks. Unbelievable. So obviously one of us, we listened to the first half. Yeah, one of his people watches what we do, found it, because he's never found that in years. Like, I found it, and I'm not going to tell you how I found it, but I found it through not normal. I didn't just find it on Google search. So now again, he's profiting from my behind the scenes work. What a twat. It's rubbish anyway. It's just total rubbish. It's just him saying, like, he's, you know, had a hard weekend at his brother's wedding. He's kind of like, sorry if I slur my words, I've been drinking heavily. And then they sort of say, so, you know, the Madeleine McCann case. And he's like, yeah, it's a cover-up. I'm a conspiracy nut. At one point he says the moon landings were fake. It's that sort of thing. He was like into the conspiracies, he's saying. And he's like, a cover-up, it's a cover-up. And then he talks about Richard D. Hall stuff. Like, you know, he's got nothing himself. He's just like shouting about stuff he's read on the internet.
All around America. The girls have put my Patreon in now.
He went all around America. It was an online radio show that went out to like 20 people.
Please join Patreon if you want the truth on the McCann case. The unvarnished version is on my YouTube channel now. On here, I can't say
You don't have a YouTube channel.
so much.
On here, you can't say so much. But it's Rumble. Like, why are you still touting this crap? It's on your Patreon. Have you heard me tell? Yeah, I did notice Richard D. Hall was gifted a membership on the channel. Yeah, I did. I mean, what do you say about it? It could be just someone who's got the same name. It could be anyone. I don't know. Maybe they have watched. Maybe they were watching at the time. Maybe they don't watch. I mean, I don't know what's going on with his stuff. I think it might be that he got sued by the McCann people and it got taken down. But he made the best Madeleine McCann stuff on YouTube, and Alan watched it and then started trying to be him.
I'm going to be on Patreon after this, so if you would like to join, it helps me survive. Now, I obviously used to be on YouTube, and I used to make a living on YouTube. I don't anymore. To be honest, on Rumble, I haven't been paid any money yet. No.
You haven't been paid any money by Rumble? Well, how have you got it set up? What about the super chats? Do they not count? Do you mean advertising revenue? That would be funny as fuck, wouldn't it? Because you have those horrible adverts on your channel, but you're not getting paid big money on Rumble. Anything.
So, you might think, how's AG going to survive? Well, I need to get a job with a news organisation, and I'm looking at a few avenues now, and I might...
Yeah. You're going to get a job with a news organisation after having just told us that those organisations are untrustworthy. And like, there might be some like real out there news organisations that Alan can write for or something, aren't there? Like, you know, they might have the Vinicum spin on their upcoming Send Them Back episode, but not like, and if he does, it'd be funny as fuck, because then we can start like telling them who he is and showing them the nonce video, and then he won't be doing that anymore. I'd love to see it. You know, I wonder what this news organisation is going to be. I wonder who he's going to work. Like, who's he going to be? Alan's going to work for somebody. They're going to pay him money to do some work, and what's he going to do? Report on something for the news? Yeah. Go on, yeah.
Be able to say something tomorrow on that. But in the meantime, my PayPal is there if you want to support the channel. And I am ostracized. I've been like, not crucified. I've been trying to think of the word.
I think you just said it, didn't you? Ostracized. Excommunicate. I say excommunicate a lot. I like it because it sounds like, you know, excommunicate. Relegated. Banned. Probably banned. Terminated. You have to make up funny words. Terminated's the right one.
Victimized.
Oh, victimized.
Because of my views. And I won't. Alan,
I victimise you because you are a malignant arsehole, a thief and a liar. That's why I victimise you. It's because you are now the victim, apparently. But you're not, are you? We just looked at that thing about narcissism, about how they turn it so they're always the victim. When you have disappointing experiences with the narcissist, that he stole my content, that he lied about it, that he said mean things about me on the internet, that person becomes the victim, and you're the one that caused them to treat you poorly. So he's the ostracised one, he's the victim. It's my fault that Alan, you know, that I'm doing this to Alan. I'm a bad person. But actually, Alan, it's your fault.
My views because someone wants me to. I really don't think that I'm not allowed to have a view on a crime.
It wasn't having a view on a crime that got you binned off, though.
So last week, you know about the McCann case for many years. Last week, the BBC did another cover-up on it. Now, I say cover-up because I know they're covering up the McCanns. The BBC, mainstream media, politicians, church are covering up McCanns. These 9 people, tapas 9.
Tapas 7. It's tapas 7.
We went on this holiday and met other friends for nefarious projects between consenting couples. Hey, I did that well, didn't I?
Why don't you just say pedo business?
They all went there, out of season.
Or do you mean sex business? Like, you see, you didn't do that well. You said it weird, so you couldn't understand what you mean. Do you mean they're swingers? Like, you're on Rumble, you can just say what the fuck you like. Like, why'd you have to be weird about everything? You fucking weirdo. What's this touching of the head now? We didn't decide if he's on the tramadol, did we?
Proud to lose. And the McCanns
Maybe the
went
tramadol's are
as
kicking
5
in.
and come back as 4. Amanda McCann was never seen again, and she didn't disappear. She wasn't abducted. She vanished.
What, you mean like disappeared?
Her body vanished.
She didn't disappear though,
In my
you said.
opinion. But the mainstream media won't have that. The Portuguese police come to the conclusion that she died in the apartment 5A and the body was hidden by the parents. Not me saying that. That's the Portuguese surmised synopsis.
Yeah, which I kind of agree with, but it's not you saying it because you can't believe that because like no one can be trusted. Certainly not the Portuguese police, I would imagine. Or maybe they can be trusted now.
What happened? She died, bumped her head, and rather than be arrested, they hid the body. Oh, I can't put it any more simple than that. That's what happens. In my opinion, and many others.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not new
allowed to
news.
say that because I'm not scared. I'm not scared of any consequences.
No one is. Like, many people have been saying that. Like, what are you on about?
Because I have lots of proof.
You've got lots of proof.
Circumstantial proof.
You've got lots of proof. You have the proof. The man who couldn't re-upload his own videos after he got binned off YouTube has folders and folders of proof. You don't have anything. You talk about things on the internet. Like, the other people have produced evidences that you can refer to and look at, but you yourself don't have anything. You don't have a fucking script you've written. You don't have a fucking pot to piss in, mate. You don't have any, like, you don't have files or folders or, like, you know, all your work on the Chris Watts case disappeared after you got binned off YouTube because you can't do it again because where's the folders? Like, you've got nothing.
So the next few shows, I'm going to be going over that case because it's been on our television.
What you've got is stuff other people have said on the internet that you can just say as well, sometimes a bit.
2 weeks ago. BBC have done it again.
So you're broadcasting this because you were saying they're covering
Okay,
it
mate,
up,
you got a
right?
hoodie. Thank you.
Kate Mick got a hoodie. He's doing merchandise. Oh yeah, someone's got a hoodie. Getting some money out the merchandise, are you, Alan? There's the Chuffer mug, the Battery Boy, modelled by Keeley and Pet. Get yourself a Chuffer mug. How's he doing? Why is he doing? Another question is, why is he doing merchandise for Kate Mick? Like, selling 2 jerseys to Kate Mick. Like, why not just get Kate Mick to just give you another 20 this week and just say, look, go down Oxfam and pick yourself up a hoodie and write Armchair Detective on it in biro. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, yeah. Right, so this is what was on our telly. I'm going to talk you through it.
I'm going to talk you
So
through it.
BBC,
What you mean is,
they
you're
saw
going
Jerry McCann.
Can's father, Jerry,
to play the fucking
is the
episode.
man from their night.
said,
I'm skipping through it.
Phone and email,
Oh, he's talking there.
hosting them at his home on 2 occasions.
McCann was actually
But in the main,
from my door.
he didn't do any talking. He talked once through the whole fucking hour of it. And at the end, he's going to do some talking.
Where it was body was moved. All of that makes Christian Bruckner a side story. Because if she died on the night,
Welcome to 2023.
what does the rest of this show mean? They're doing their job. Truth out of my head
Hang on.
of a child. Why doesn't he explain what the barking dogs are barking for? They're doing their job, telling their master they could smell the death of a child. But he didn't say that, did he? I can never get that truth out of my head.
What was that in your head that you would think that truth? Like, you're a weird one, you are. Pretending that you can. I can't sleep at night for thinking about Madeleine McCann and a poor little how Kate described her poor little truth in her book, didn't she? Kate described her little perfect little truth in her book. Oh, I can't get that out of my head. Like, what are you on about? It's 2023.
I'll say it one more time.
Yeah, the fake emotions are pathetic, and they make him look like a pedo.
Amaral, when he went to the scene, was told the floor was bleached. He said, let's get up the tiles and see if there's any blood that run through the grouting under the tiles.
Now he's doing, we've talked about it before, there's another YouTuber called James Bogart who does Madeleine McCann content, and that Alan's saying there is 100% lifted from James Bogart. Like, Alan's just like watched his video on it and said it 100%.
Which is clever. He was right, there was blood, and it was 80-90%. And yet, we have the Met.
Now, this is weird to me as well, because, like, on Super Chuffer, my own channel, you know, me, big me, you know, me, Super Chuffer, you know, me. Like, when I was getting going on the old YouTubes, Super Chuffer, you know, me, you know, me. I did Madeleine McCann. I've got a playlist. I wanted to talk about it. I've always wanted to have my say, so to speak. Having watched all the stuff, you know, like most people have, lived through it, watched all the stuff in the news when it came out. You know, my mom being scared. Oh, you know, Madeleine McCann's gone, and like, you know, watching out for us kids. You know, it was in the news a lot. And then, you know, I saw it, the whole story. I read the book the Portuguese guy did, and saw that they banned it. Richard D. Hall's content, the embedded confessions. So when I was doing my YouTube channel and getting it going a year ago, I covered the McCann stuff, some body language of them on film, 2 episodes, body language, 2 episodes talking about the embedded confessions, and then 4 episodes covering the book and the contents of, and, you know, my opinions on, and basically coming to that same, the way Alan just said it, you know, she died in the apartment, these are the evidences, the dogs, the tiles, you know, I didn't do the tiles actually, but I talked about the blood, but, you know, all of that stuff summarised my way in 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes about the book and supplementary content, and then I've not talked about it. I could do more body language videos on the interviews, I couldn't I, because they're out there and, you know, they're waiting to be done, they can be done, but I feel like I've done my McCann bit, like, made my bit of McCann content, was interested, wanted to say it my way, said it, moved on. And, like, Alan's like we're now in 2023, the BBC did a documentary on it, it was on the telly, so he thinks, quick, get on the internet and talk McCann, there'll be a trend wave and I'll ride it. Oh, did Netflix do a documentary on painkillers? Quick, get on the internet and let's talk about painkillers. When Netflix does something, you can ride the trend wave. I remember when I were a lad, Chris Watts' case went on the Netflix, and I did a video the next day, and I got straight on that trend wave, and I was like riding that Chris Watts trend wave. I had no real interest in Chris Watts until I saw the Netflix documentary and got some views on a video. Next time Netflix does something, I'm going to be right on it, riding my new channel is going to be called Netflix Reactions and Supplementary Content from Alan, and I'm going to ride those Netflix waves, baby. But he doesn't have any understanding, really, that that's not how it's working and it's not how it's going to work. Like, but it's like someone putting chips on the table in the casino. I watched this documentary last night. I'll put some chips on I'll do an episode about that. Maybe it'll get 1,000 views, 10,000 views. Maybe everyone will be talking about it again, and everyone needs to know why AD was right. And oh, are you new to the Madeleine McCann game? Did you just watch the documentary yesterday? You know, did you just wake up off your park bench? Were you born in a fucking rainstorm yesterday? No. So then no one needs to care about what AD has to say.
Never questioning the McCanns and their friends about the things I've just told you. Surely the police would say to her, well, Mr. McCann, why did you bleach the floor that night? Because it had to be that night, because the blood was under the tiles, right? They'd not bleached it a week before or 2 days before. It had to be bleached after the blood was on the floor. Why did you mop up blood off the floor?
Well, the answer to that question is really simple, Alan, because the police tried to interview Kate in different ways, but their investigation was somewhat hindered by the huge team of lawyers the McCanns got on their side that were financially motivated by the Mirror Group, and the Mirror Group themselves and the Daily Mail people who went in there and worked as part of their team McCann. And Kate wasn't exactly forthcoming and cooperative with her fucking interviews, was she? So they were hindered in many ways, and like by the time they could get like the, you know, declare them arguidos, so to speak, that Kate and Jerry were half on their way to see the fucking Millionaires Row. Right, it got out of hand. But they didn't declare them arguidos initially because of the moves and positions of, you know, maybe diplomatic, it seemed at first, but quickly. Like, have you not read the book anyway, Alan?
There's no answer, is there?
Yeah, I just answered it, you prat.
So you don't ask the question. Ask no question.
Like, did you literally not read the book that you were going on about? I bet you didn't, did you? I bet you didn't read Goncalo Amaral's book, the one they tried to ban. I bet you just said, I heard this on the internet and someone said this in a video, I'll say it. I bet you don't know the full context and everything, do you?
Questions, get no lies. Ask no questions, get no lies.
It's ask no questions, tell no lies.
£14 million. And they never ask the questions because they can't deal with the lies.
I'll tell you what, that filter is really working hard time, isn't it, on his face? That filter is really fucking working. He almost looks like a cartoon manga character at this point. He almost looks like a, you know, inked outline of himself. That's because he is.
I'll be going to make a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'll be going on my Patreon to speak to you in 30 minutes. I'd
Good.
like to see you there.
We're going to see that then. What are you doing when you go to make a cup of coffee for 30 minutes? Because the coffee returns, you return with the cup, and it seems full and ready to go. So that's the last thing you do. The first thing you do is get up, stretch your legs, go to the toilet. What are you doing in between that and having a fresh cup of big coffee? Like, how does it take you half an hour? Thankfully, for us, it doesn't. You decided to get changed into your Star Trek clothes. That's a choice. Why the clothing change? It's live. Alan, you pressed the button. I assume you're pressing it.
Hi there.
Hiya.
Just wait for you to say hello, as usual. There's always a jet lag on Rumble. Just come from the main page. Quite a good show tonight. Over 120 people watching, which is like, doesn't sound many, but I know a lot of people that hate me on YouTube struggle to get that many.
A lot of those people are actually the ones watching you.
I'm not on YouTube, am I? I've only got 500 followers.
And maybe you're paying for views again, maybe for clout again. You know, maybe you're going back to that old way. It would seem unlikely that you would get over 100 viewers on a live stream of that quality. But then again, maybe the other thing is it says AD, which looks like the word ad. Like the thing you have to remember is this says McCann's knew Maddie was dead. Ad shows you why. So anyone who doesn't know anything about Alan will just see that as the word ad. Like there's an advert in this broadcast, and the broadcast is called McCann's knew Maddie was dead. Shows you why. Like shows you why it looks a bit strange at the end, but the ad reads like advert. So McCann's knew Maddie was dead was quite a controversial title. And then if you just tuned into it, like let's say you just like, oh, that looks interesting. McCann's knew Maddie was dead, and you press on it, you know, just at random, yeah.
Their own campaign
this is what you've
to
got.
find Madeline. They allowed a friend who's a filmmaker
And you think,
to record
is it not in
what they were
1080p?
doing.
Looking at these
Why is it not in
ones that
1080p?
haven't been used as much and much more difficult to look at. And
I can't really see that, but you might be interested because this is footage of the McCanns and you think this is reasonably good documentary because it's the fucking BBC. And Alan's just sat in the corner hiding in his own
Been
stream.
moved.
Like he does this every fucking time. He effectively just tries to hide. See, how he's still covered up. He's hiding in his own stream because most people who tune in, if they listen to him talk, would tune off. But if they tune in and there's a reasonably good documentary playing, they might stay. But it doesn't mean that Alan's got good people watching him who think he's good. It means he's hidden himself in the corner of his own stream, and he's hijacking and parasiting off someone else's content. And like, why does that feel good? You nutter. It's pathetic. It's like worse than pathetic. Like hiding on your own content. Hiding.
And yet 100 of them, 120 of them turn up to watch me, which is good. I had 10,000 and only 200 people turned up to watch me, so can't be that bad, can it? Just wait for someone to say hello.
What, you want about 10,000?
I am live. Thank you very much. Thank you, my patrons, for continuing to support us for another month. And as I reported to you last week, I have to find another stream of income, and I think I've got it. There'll be some news on that tomorrow, and I think we're going to make a comeback.
So obviously poker's not paying then, yeah? Because otherwise he'd just say, look, poker's doing really well. My idea to take all your money and put it on the poker has come up trumps effectively, and we're sitting on fair pretty penny. Thanks for all your donations. I made £5,000 in Malta. I made £200 in Luton, and I've put that money away. So for the next few months, you've got Alan, and obviously give me more money to go and play more poker because you're going to need more Alan. So, but no, instead we are now. It's a month away from Christmas. Like in a month it will be Christmas. You'll be like wrapping up your presents and all that business. And Alan, I'm going to get a job. Maybe he's been saying for over a month. And he's got news on that tomorrow. He sounds like a teenager who, like, I remember being a teenager and my mom was like, you have to get a job. And I'd be like, yeah, I filled in a form and I've like handed it in. And honestly, I'm how's the job front moving? And I'd be like, you know, like, yeah, like I heard back from the supermarket, but I'm still waiting on the, and she'd be like, look, I've bought 3 forms, fill these in now and I'll hand them in. And I'll be like, I don't think I'll get the job if my mom hands the form in. And be like, well, you're not going to get the job if you don't hand any forms in. Like, you know what I mean? Like the pressure and stuff like that. It feels like Alan's trying to avoid the pressure of having to actually get a job by constantly talking about maybe he will get a job. Maybe that's a new beg tactic, you know, to pressure them. Oh, I'm going to have to get a job if you don't give me any more money. And Christmas is coming, so I can't wait to find out what his job ideas are. If he's got any fucking sense, he will listen to me, because he knows, he and I both know, you know, we all know, I've got the top tips for Alan. If he's got any sense, he'll listen to me. At least once weekly, Alan's Mad Hour, Alan's Fun Time. It has to be over an hour, and it has to include no weird fucking racism. We can do racism, but it has to be a joke.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier. Swish, and then
Andy sent tippies.
Thank you, Andy.
My nips are winning. Super Chuffer owes 20 hugs.
Andy's nips are winning. Thank you, 20 hugs. That's massive. Thank you. We're doing this on the, like, you know, on the. We'll put it up on YouTube as a premiere. If anyone wants to tip me on YouTube and it doesn't come up on the screen, they think, oh, it's not going to be on the screen. Thank you for the. If anyone has tipped me during this episode and considers doing it, thank you for the super chats, and thank you. I'll read them out on the next stream if they didn't come up on the screen because it was the coffee system, because we're doing a premiere. But thank you very much, Andy, who's here live doing the tippies. Thank you. Big ups, Andy, and your nipples. Well said, Jessica. Colette did have a question for me, which I'll quickly answer. What am I getting you for Christmas? A nut and an orange. Or an orange and a nut. Whoa! Because a nut is like doing a cum. Right. So I can't wait to find out what Alan's best idea is for a job. I would suggest don't do any of your stupid ideas, Alan, right? Instead, listen to the Chuffer Man. Alan's Mad Hour at least once a week. Probably twice a week. It's probably better for us. But at least once a week. No grimy politics, jokes about, if you want to dress up as Osama bin Laden or one of those chuffers off the boat and do a comedy skit, do that. Like, it has to include jokes, it has to include light-hearted entertainment, and it has to be Alan's fun time. Like, think Tiswas, think, you know, stuff like that. Maybe finish it with a Jack and Nori at the end, but it has to be Alan's fun time. You know, it's got to be upbeat and fun. We've got to have a laugh. Alan's fun time. The second thing that you want to do is you want to get onto us in our Super Chuffer with, you know, the mod squad at Super Chuffer Mods. Super Chuffer at, what are we? Super Chuffer, what is it? One of the mods will put it in chat now. get that email address, send us an email. We will line up an interview with you and me. Instead of you sat there be on pause like this, we can be on the screen together on Twitch, not YouTube, because you can't do it on YouTube, can you? Because you fucked it up. But I'll do pay-per-view. We'll get it going, and I'll pay you to do an interview with me, or a debate, or a poker game, or a chat. So there's some money you can have on the regular. Whatever you think you can make in a job, whatever job you can do, get the contract, show me, we'll make more money doing my thing. Yeah? Like, I think there's no job Alan can walk into. Like, I can pay you better than minimum wage for your time on our show. Like, I just think that, there's no job Alan can walk into that he can get remunerated any better than I can pay him. So, Alan, the best plan is to get in touch with us and superchuffer@outlook.com. Thanks. Or is it superchuffer1? Which one of those is me and one of those is the mod squad, isn't it? Superchuffer@outlook.com. Right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's not like, but get in touch with us. We can sort you out with the, content creation. Get paid for it. And I'm telling you, right? The people would pay-per-view, like they pay-per-viewed Anthony Joshua versus fucking Nicole Kessinger. Anthony Joshua versus Nicole Kessinger. Bang! And Joshua goes down. Oh my God, I should have thrown some punches. What was I doing? I'm much bigger than her. Bang! Joshua goes down. Like we can get it on. Like we won't have to do violence. We can do... You can't do silence. That's going to be in the contract. You have to show up and talk. But we'll do some fun things. They don't have to be horrible. Okay, we can do some fun things that we want to build towards a hard-hitting interview. But we don't have to do that first. We can start off with something fun and, ease into it. That's your best chance at a shot at anything at this point, Alan, is talk to us.
Hopefully. Tonight's show, I'm concentrating on the McCanns quite a lot. I'm going to show you one of their interviews and show you how I think they're lying in a minute.
Show us your boobies.
But what I felt fascinating about the Panorama show we just saw just now was...
No, you can't quite see, can you, the curvature here?
Something came up and it clicked in my mind, right?
Oh.
The guy was showing a screen of him talking to another...
He looks like Captain Picard.
Sex offender.
Sex offender.
Fantasizing about killing a young...
What's going on now?
The guy was showing a screen of him talking to another sex offender, and he was fantasizing about killing a young child, wasn't he? He was fantasizing about it.
That's you that does that. That's why you do all your shows about dead children. You had the sex offender on your show.
I thought, wow.
Wow.
I know of another YouTuber that fantasized about killing a girl after a date rape drug.
It's me. It's me. I was going to say you. It's you, isn't it, that's been making all that content about the dead children all the time, constantly got it on your mind, thinking it through, going over and over it, waking up in the night, trying to get to sleep. It's you that does that. I made a parody song about incels several years ago. Do continue.
Putting a bag over her head and chucking her in the river.
Put her body in the river in a bin bag. I can't even get the lyrics right. This song's about a girl I knew. Let's say, for argument's sake, she's a big bitch, real good looking though, kind of girl that makes you want to hit her. While you do the wild thing you're thinking, can I get away with choking her this time? A fine wine and to right hypnol, dump her body in the river in a bin bag. She is a slag, but she don't want me back. Cripes, Alan. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Nothing's ever gonna keep me down. You're the best around, and nothing's ever gonna keep you down. And nothing's ever gonna keep you. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down.
Because you'd be in jail.
Thanks. Timing, Donald.
Because you'd be in jail.
I can't believe it. I just don't believe it. I can't believe it. I just don't believe it. What are we gonna do? We got a big problem.
Wait, I've got to get that right. What are we going to do? We've got a big problem.
What are we gonna do? We got a big problem.
I stole that from my new friend that I was watching. They had their soundboard going and they were miming along to it, and I thought, that's fucking genius.
Game over, man. It's game over.
There's some very dangerous people on YouTube.
I believe it was comedy, but I feel like you had someone in mind who you were fucked off with. Who, me? Yeah, no, well, not really, because I was actually had a girlfriend at the time. Like, I was doing all right sexually. I was having some sex. Later on, she did, like, we broke up and I felt pretty unhappy about it. Like, later on, I would have written a bad song, maybe, at some moments in my life, but I didn't. Like, at that point, it was just a funny... Like, I came up with the vibe for it was this bass line and the clicking, and the song, the sample went, "What are you, stoned or stupid?" And it went, dun, 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 dun. And so it had this kind of like, you know, a wah 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 na na wah na wah, a wah 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 wah. Like, that was in my head. Like the pitch and tone of the singer was in my head first, and I thought this voice that I'm hearing in my head, this a wah wah a wah 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 wah, sounds like a real nerdy, vimpy sort of complaining sort of tone. And so I started to write a song about like a complaint that this character might have. And it came out as like this incel song. It really wasn't that I sat down angry about a relationship and said, right, I'm going to show them in comedy song. Let's do a sort of jazzy 1930s downbeat as a sort of premise, and let's get into them. Like, no. The one song I did once write, I suppose that had like, well, a lot of my guitar songs have emotional context to them, but no, yeah, it really wasn't a sort of like, Scott's an angry young man and he's angry at the girls and he wants to put them in the river in the bin. No, it really wasn't that. Like, it's just a comedy song. And like, if I thought about it like it was some serious big weird thing, then when, like, if you look at my SoundCloud, the interesting thing is that that's like a one-off sort of random towards the start bit of thing I did when I was younger. It's not like I then went on and wrote albums about how I hate women, is it? So like, I don't think I've like maintained that comedy character into the future, so I don't think it really matters. But it's just, yeah, it was just like a song thing. Like, I'd also recommend you to the work of like other artists, like, I don't know, Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote all those songs in all the musicals, and he's not a 19th century, or like what century was it? He's not like a 14th century French peasant who had to like be a prostitute, is he? So his writing of you know, I dreamed a dream of life gone by, a time of death worth living, but the tigers come at night. You know, Andrew Lloyd Webber or whoever didn't have any tigers coming for him at night and wasn't a French prostitute. So like, many people can write songs about many different things, and as long as it comes out as a song with like a sound and a voice, it's no longer like Scott's personal feelings writ large, it's more a song. So I just think it's fucking weird, isn't it? Like, I think, like, for me, the idea that was, and it was not just Colette said it, is that there was a couple of, I think somebody else, maybe Tosha, alluded to this idea as well. Like, the whole point of the idea is to have that voice in the song. So if I thought it was projecting some element of me, then I'd feel more like not doing it, because I'd be making a parody song about myself and taking the piss out of myself and making me look stupid. So I probably wouldn't do it. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, it's a different sort of yeah, like the fact that I did it and I thought it was funny and I put it out there, I thought was enough to show people that I didn't suffer with those problems myself of wanting to put people in a river in a bin bag. And I have never hypnoled somebody. But yeah, you know, I don't know. Like, again, like, it's just not token acceptance that because you did a song about Like those people did that song about Africa. We played it the other day. They went, gonna take a lot to take me away from you. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means anything about them as people. But like, I think there's songs about things anyway. Yeah, I think there's songs about things. So
people don't see it. That clicked with me there. That's a dangerous man, Bruckner. And we know of a YouTuber that did the same sort of thing about killing a girl with a date rape drug.
So now I'm Christian Bruckner, but Christian Bruckner wasn't a suspect in the McCann case. His name's just come up, and like it's clicked in his head that I'm basically the same as him because I wrote a song about a girl who got killed by somebody utilising the date rape drug. Look at his face. Now the filter is saying, should I draw these lines writ large again? Should I draw these lines in? Because are we trying to hide them, or are they part of the actual features of your face that we're trying to identify? Because part of it's blur and part of it's crisp, isn't it? So should we blur or crisp? I can't decide. Look at his fucking grimace. Look at this. Look at this. Trust this man. Trust no one. Trust this man. Look at this. Leering into you. Touching you. Fucking this horrible man. This man on Smule. This man on Smule. He's decided to talk about the Chuffer Man. I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you for why. You non-lawyering lawyers. You fucking non-lawyering lawyer. You stupid. What would you give a name to his... Do 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 do. Do-dee do-dee do. Do-dee do-dee do. Yeah. Do-dee do-dee do. Whoa, yeah. Do-dee do-dee do. Sorry, that just got into me there. I'll tell you for why he's talking Chuffer Man again. It's because Battery Exhausted, Alan... Oh, the last episode wasn't just about Alan, was it? It was Not to Watch. And it had Alan in the middle, and then it was sandwiched by these other people. And people like that Pink Piggy woman. They like her, the Pink Piggy woman. That's interesting to them. Attacked by the Toad got the same number of views as an Alan episode. And on the videos, we've got Bin Bin, we've got Phil. We've got Shelley. We've got Simcast. We've got Phil. We've got Grumpy Grannis' Spiders. We've got Love and Truth Tube. We keep in touch with that side of YouTube. We've got Alan's fan. You know, we've got Martin and his Flat Earth crew. There's a bunch of different people on this now, and Alan, you know, is one of them. Yeah, and he is desperate to be the main one. Desperate to hire the Chuffer Man. Get the Chuffer Man talking Alan. Don't let a day go by without that Chuffer Man talking Alan. Hey? Desperate to... Scott, will you talk about me more? Desperate for it. Desperate for it. But also knows that he's got to... if he wants any fucking views and he wants anything... I don't know why he doesn't do this as well. He used to do... you know the community post where he's slating people? I thought there was a really funny moment. I'm going to try and shout them out again. My new friend, my new Foodie Beauty friend. Let me shout them out again. Where have they gone? Alex is shook. Alex is shook yesterday in a live stream. They explained this concept and I thought it was brilliant. So they said the community post, they were talking about somebody else, but they were talking about the community posts, and they said they were talking about Foodie Beauty's community posts, right? And Foodie Beauty's been doing some bad, ranty at you fucking chuffer community posts, yeah? And what Alex said, which was very clever, was, why are you doing that as a community post? You're making yourself look stupid in public and you're not getting any monetization from it. Like, if you did it as a video, people would watch it because it's drama. Oh, I don't like drama or drama. They would watch it because it's drama, and then you would get the money from it. You might still look stupid, Alex said, but you still look stupid now because you're doing it as a community post. So it's the same with Alan. Like, doing this in his Patreon, calling for the Chuffer Man in Patreon, like, you should just do an episode. The Chuffer Man is bad. All about the Chuffer Man. Shouldn't you? And people would watch it because it's the drama. Alan's response to what Chuffer Man said. What he's never done is he's never played our streams with me talking and come back at me for a point I've made about something. He's never gone bit by bit through our critique of what he said, because I've done it point by point, and he could be watching this and say, right, pause, I critique that, I've done this, this and this, and I never done that. Never done that. But it's time now, if he wants some money, so that he's got to turn to the Chuffer Man. So he's calling for the Chuffer Man, but he won't do a show about the Chuffer Man. Alan, just go back to, we want Alan's Mad, okay, we'll do it this, we'll do Alan's Mad Hour, like, you know, that's a fun, upbeat one, and then we'll do Alan's Troll Takedown. Alan's Mad Monday and Alan's Troll Takedown Tuesday. And don't you tell me they're not your 2 best days of the week. Actually, don't do it Mondays, because I want to do thus. Do it on a different day. But they will be your 2 bonza days of the week, and no one will give a shit about all this fucking nonsense that you do. Trust me.
Putting a bag over her head and throwing her in the river.
It's disposing. It's not putting a bag over her head and throwing in the river. It's put her body in the river in a bin bag. God, it doesn't have any lyrical flow the way you've said it.
Dangerous people.
Dangerous people.
You might think it's...
Yeah, I might put your fucking daughter in the body in the river in a bin bag, because I once wrote it when I was a teenager, I wrote a comedy song, and then because of that, I'm a dangerous individual, Alan. Yeah. What about you with your litany of lies, string of deceits, rumour mill, truths, half-truths, and sordid goings on? What about you? Hey, are you dangerous? Do you push people in the river, Alan? Are you the Bristol pusher? Are you so ashamed of your true sexuality that you'd go and have little illicit rummages with some young lad by the river and then push him in the fucking river and make sure he doesn't get out, because then he'd tell people about what Uncle Alan did to him? Is that you, Alan?
Funny, but it's not funny.
It is funny. Shut up, you funny. I know what's funny. You don't know what's funny.
Leave that there, park that there.
Just going to park that there.
So...
Just going to park that there, just going to say a little bit about the Chuffer Man and then back right off because I'm a massive coward. Just going to park that, seed that idea in there for you. The Chuffer Man's probably the same sort of bad sex rapist as that one that done the McCann. So just going to seed that idea there with you in Patreon. You fucking arsehole, Alan.
The McCanns. Let's have a look at one of
let's
their
have a look at the McCann's interviews. No,
see what
that's not fun. Not from you. No, it's not. So we're not watching that. I'm skipping
with
that.
all the smell of death. Then it sort of links it.
I need to go to the toilet now.
But of course, when you're dealing with foreign nationals,
so can you open up wide, Alan?
It makes it so much harder. For the Portuguese to arrest them, soon as they were accused, they come back to England and hired. Said, I think the parents did not murder the child, but they hid the body after an accident, and that's what I think. And I'll never change that. And it's a very controversial suspect, I know, and I know that YouTube don't like anybody talking about the McCanns. It's like a sort of secret society that you're not allowed to.
They don't mind my videos. My videos where I've outlined a lot of those, truths about the McCann case. They seem absolutely fine with it. On my videos, got quite a few views. Was reasonably, I thought, interesting content. I thought I covered it nicely. My views are fine.
Do anything with the McCann case, because you're not allowed to make money out of the McCann case, it seems. Or any other case, to be honest. See, my voice is going. That means I'm tired, so I'm going to have to go. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And thanks for turning up tonight. And thanks for continuing your support on Patreon. I hope to have some news tomorrow on a new project where I can actually get back to work. So some exciting times coming tomorrow. Listen out tomorrow. Look on Facebook tomorrow. We'll be making an announcement on Facebook tomorrow.
I wonder, has there been an announcement on Facebook?
Hope to see you tomorrow night. Okay, thanks a lot. Good night.
My guess is that he's going to announce that he's doing some sort of collaboration with another channel, and that they're going to do the donkey work and he's going to turn up on the show or something. Or maybe they're putting together another book or something. No, it can't be a book, can it? Because he's talking about an actual job where he gets paid for turning up. Like, not just like there's going to be something we can sell you. Now, if it's something we can sell you, I'll be so disappointed. But I think he's going to try and get himself like leveraged into like, maybe there's a panel group on Rumble that taught racism or something, and he's like going to get himself leveraged in there. And very quickly they'll realise he's a nonce, and then he'll get leveraged out. Or the other thing is that maybe a couple of his community members have said, look, we're making this show behind the scenes and you are fronting it and it's gone shit and we're now on Rumble. So why don't we make this show on YouTube and you don't do as much and we can say it's our show. Maybe that, and like, maybe he's involved in some way, but he's not the front man now, or not, you know, and the other people that are actually still fucking making, because they're making his show anyway, aren't they? Providing him with the stuff to talk about and all that. Those people might just want to say, we're going to do our own channel and you can just be part of it now, not the main one. Maybe that, but merchandise, the hoodie someone got was a pre-order, maybe that, yeah. I mean, you can't honestly think that his new job is selling hoodies to people like with Alan on them, because no one will give a shit. They're only buying those out of pity anyway. Like, we're selling merchandise that's fun. It's even got, I'll tell you what, you know, floating our own boat here. Ours has got a story behind it, and it's created by the community, for the community, by request of the community, with £100 to the winner here, Jess R, who got her stuff on the mug. So, you know, for Christmas we're doing a competition for the songs. I've got to decide what the financial remuneration should be. I might just say chuck, I mean, I'm saying it now live, but I might just say chuck a hundo at it. It's Christmas again, you know, throwing around hundreds of pounds on the stream for the competitions. But I might just say that it's Christmas, you know, the winner of the song competition gets £100 and they can do what the fuck they want with it because it's Christmas. And maybe we give some money to charity as well along the way, you know, like that's where we're at. Alan's is like, I'm desperate for money, so along with my Patreon and the money you've given me on PayPal directly, can you also buy a hoodie with my name on it, where I get like, I mean, at maximum the profit value you can set on those things is like £3 to £4. Like, you can't, like, we're trying to I'm trying to claw back the £100 that I've given to the winner, but like, honestly, like, it's not like I'm making hundreds and hundreds of pounds off mugs. It's that it gives you a little bit of profit, but the best thing about it for a community, in my opinion, is like I just explained, that it's something we did together and people can have it, and where, you know, they can be, you know, it's their thing they can have. Like, I'm less interested in the financial, you know, making. I'm not going to become a mug millionaire. Like, that's never going to happen. But it's nice that people can have the mugs and show the pictures and be on the streams, and like, that's all good. And we are going to extend and have more merchandise. So I might be a merchandise millionaire. I'm not going to, it can never be me being a millionaire unless I start my own fucking clothing range and take accountability for the shipping and all that stuff. And who am I going to compete with? Fucking, you know, Next on the high street. Now I'm in the clothing business. Like, if I get really popular, I might make some money off merchandise, but like, I'm not as popular as Cheetos, am I? So like, it's, do you know what I mean? At our end of the scale, it's just a bit of fun, and it's not really done to try and increase profits in a substantial way. Although I will be saying that this Christmas, the mug money will go towards Christmas presents, so that's going to be good. But do you know what I mean? It's like, not like, so I don't, for Alan, I don't think his new job is we've got hoodies. I just think that he's got it into his head that our merchandise, because we did the Angry Alan competition, he's got it into his head that we're selling t-shirts with his face on it, and we're not. So he's got it into his head that that's what's happening, and he wants a piece of the pie. So he's now selling t-shirts with his face on it or some shit. Like, a foolish waste of everyone's time, because how many t-shirts can Kate Mick buy? And he might get an extra £50 total out of all the merchandise, you know, and then he might as well have just sold, like, don't buy a hoodie, Kate, just give me the fucking 13 quid instead. Like, I've only got £1 out of that. The hoodie company got the most bit. Like, for the mugs company, getting for us and what we're doing, I imagine the mug company take the biggest cut. The company that do it on the internet for us, like, you know, they're the ones that probably do best out of this, because we're selling mugs for them. But I don't care. It's like I've explained it, haven't I? So, but for Alan, like, he's better off printing his own fucking hoodies in his house and then sending them out, isn't he? Otherwise, he ain't going to get enough. Like, Kate's better off just giving him fucking £10. Like, he's basically a beggar on the internet. That's all there is for Alan. No announcement on the Facebook, apparently. I wouldn't imagine there would be. I think you'd have to keep everything really private until the last minute, and I don't think he's got good ideas. And my best guess is that, like I said, between them in their little circle group, or one other new person that we don't know about that he's been talking to off the scenes, like maybe someone he's met on the poker thing, he's going to sort of jump onto a, you know, we'll do a podcast together with so-and-so. And that's going to, you know, can you please make sure you give them money, which is effectively is giving Alan money again, for more tippies for this other channel now, which we're doing as a, you know, Alan and Dr. B's True Crime Fridays or something on another channel or some shit, which they're going to pay him a cut of the tippies or, you know, something like that. That's the only way I can see it. No one's going to pay him directly to be on their show other than me. Or maybe other people will, actually. That's a good point. Maybe they will. Like, the thing with the lolcow stuff is, like, you know, if one, like, let's say, for example, no offense, like, I'm not picking on anyone, so I just pick on the first person on the list, at the bottom there, Seaman Staines. If Seaman Staines said, I'm starting up a YouTube channel and I've paid Alan and Alan's going to come on my show and do an interview, so fuck you. Like, they don't have to say fuck you at the end. But like, they're quite legit. Like, they could do that. And I'd be like, darn it, I wish I could have got that interview. He's going to pay Alan and they're going to do pay-per-view and everyone's going to want to watch it. I want to watch it. You know, and it's still a good concept. It's just I won't get to make the money on it and pay Alan to do it. But maybe someone else has got the same concept. You know, maybe they're setting him up. I don't know. The only person who can get the real pay-per-view money, like, it's the same with Anthony Joshua versus Nicole Kessinger. It takes two to tango. You know, you need Nicole Kessinger in the ring as much as you need Anthony Joshua. So you need me, Alan, if you want to do that. So I don't think it'll work. But I really hope that he tries it. Big up Suita. We're just trying to work out, and you can continue to work out in chat what you think Alan's what's his new grift, because he's coming up with a new grift. And while you try and work it out, I'm going to play the exit music that you all fucking so badly want and go to the bathroom. And it's not, unfortunately, this should be Mean Green, really, who we're doing the shout out for. You've already heard a bit of Mean Green today. It should be Mean Green who we're doing the shout out for, but instead it's this song from this, because it is. So I'll be back in a minute. Write down your Alan ideas.